Hi, I'm Red, and Holy Priest just got a big buff. So I'm going to go over the talent changes, and then I'm going to go over how I think this is going to affect our overall. So developers note, our aim with Holy Priest tuning is to increase the healing from weaker spells and talents. We're also tuning up Oracle to improve its viability. Prayer of Healing increased by 25%, Prayer of Mending increased by 20%, Renew Healing increased by 60%, Lightwell Healing increased by 30%, Divine Image Healing increased by 20%, Divine Image damage increased by 20%, Holy Fire damage increased by 20%, Renewed Faith now increases healing on allies with Renew by 10%, was 6%. Renew from Empowered Renew now heals 120% more than a normal Renew, was 60%. And the Oracle changes are, Preemptive Care now causes the duration of Renew to be increased by 40%, was 25%. Oracle, Preemptive Measures now increases the healing of Prayer of Mending by 40%, was 25%. That's a pretty substantial buff. Preventive Measures now increases the damage of Smite, Holy Fire, and Holy Nova by 40%, was 25%. Okay, so I went through some logs and checked for overall healing percentages on some of these spells. I did some quick napkin math, and I think that it's about a 5 to 7% buff for Oracle and 4 to 5% buff for Archon. The main reason is that Oracle is getting, like, Prayer of Mending is getting buffed by itself, and that's one of the biggest buffs we're getting. And the Oracle Prayer of Mending is getting a buff on top of that, so it's going from the 25% to the 40%, and that's pretty substantial. So that's 12% on top of the already 20% buff. So pre-buff, Prayer of Mending was doing like 5 to 6% overall healing, and if you added the Power Word Shield, which is cast for free when you're an Oracle, it was about 8% healing. So it was only about 3% behind heal and flash heal, and now it's jumping up close to 3%. So it should be relatively close to your heal and flash heal, especially if you're always using Premonition of Insight to get out those extra Prayer of Mendings. So that's why the buff is so much larger for Oracle. And the second reason the buff is a lot larger for Oracle is Holy Fire is a much larger percentage of your total damage as an Oracle, because you don't have Halo, which is just all pad damage, but it is a large portion of your damage, so that will affect things. You know, as an Oracle, you're doing like 50% more damage with 50% more proportion of your damage as Holy Fire, so the buff is going to be a lot bigger. So it might be 60 or even 75% damage if you're not casting that many Holy Novas and Smites. So I think it's probably going to be closer to 60%, but if you're in a dungeon, you're not casting that many Holy Novas or Smites because you're just trying to heal, then it could be 75% of your total damage, which that's really major. Overall, I think it's like a 15% damage buff for Oracle, but we'll find out. I'll put something in the comments what the theory crafters say. This is just a quick napkin math to get the video out. So let's go over Archon. You really only see about 4% total healing from Prayer of Mending, and it's getting a 20% buff, and that's it as Archon. So you might see like 5%. It's not a huge change for the Archon. It really isn't. 5% total healing on a spell, like it's like they gave Archon another trinket, because usually you see 2%, 3%, something like that, maybe 5% total healing from when you get a trinket. So it is a buff for Archon, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Like 4% HPS buff is really good. It's just not quite as large as the Oracle buff. And I already thought that Oracle's healing was stronger than the Archon. And the benefits of Archon is that you have the increased health with Powered Fortitude, and you have the increased AoE damage from Halo. So it's not going to be quite as big a damage buff as an Archon, maybe 6 to 8% versus 15%. So I think it's about double the buff for Oracle than it is for Archon. Just be, and it's not like, Oracle already is doing less damage. So Oracle is going to be doing, maybe 2/3 the damage of an Archon. I think it's going to be close to the same raw damage gain on each spec, but it's going to bring Oracle closer to that damage that Archon is doing. So if you really care about damage, but you also care about healing, then you might want to go with Oracle. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the changes to Holy Priest. So Let me know what you guys think, and we'll try to have a discussion about it in the comments. I'm really interested to see what everyone thinks.